What's up, everyone? Today we have a simple little project of a person that owns this wanted me to buy a new cover for it because it broke, and yeah, I bought a new cover and turned it on, and it's all done. Yay! Just joking. No, so this is what happens. Let's see if you can spot the issue. Before we do that, let's play the game of what's the problem with that steel and that steel. That one should be easy. Flywheel or the impeller came right off. Almost broke it in half. And that one is yet another steel with a bad crank. So, or connecting rod. So those are just two that came in today. That's kind of amazing in my opinion. Well, hold on there. Over 90% of you, according to YouTube, are not currently subscribed. You're watching this video, but you're currently not subscribed. So I'm going to welcome you to subscribe at the end if this helped you out. I work on a lot of machines, so maybe the machine you're watching is going to be something you own, but who knows? Maybe you own a generator, a pressure washer, a big mower, a chainsaw, a variety of things. The only way to know if I'm going to fix it in the future is by subscribing, and maybe I get to the one that you own and can help you out then too. So I welcome you to subscribe, put a thumbs up if it does help you out. Back to your normal video. Okay, so this is a edger, so it's a little hard to necessarily start in the fact that the blades are going to be chomping in my concrete floor, but choke is on, primed it, switch is set to on. Getting somewhere. Probably not where I want it. Let's do like half throttle or half choke. No more choke. So I know what someone's going to say is you have to let it warm up. Trust me, yesterday when I got this machine and I was looking at it originally, I let this thing warm up for good like 3 to 4 minutes, just hoping it wasn't the carb. But, you know, this is what we do in this garage. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. Kind of want to look at the spark arrestor while I was going to do it yesterday, but it was hot. Like I said, I was warming it up. And it could be as simple as a plug spark arrestor. I did, however, remove all the fuel out of it and put good new fuel. Then I let it warm up and nothing. So we don't have a fuel problem, so that's good. We don't have air filter problem because that's brand new. So we might either have a carb problem or a spark arrestor problem. There may be a port issue with carbon, don't know yet. But something also we don't have to worry about is we'll leave that one later. Let's just go ahead and take a look. So a lot of people that come to my garage fit into a couple categories. The majority, the whole cover just comes off. Well, that might be a little easier. There's a screw right there. Let's just take that off. Anyway, so it fits into a majority of categories of they want me to fix the problem they think it is, and that's it. Or two, they want me to look at and fix everything on it because they're a professional and they don't want to deal with that nonsense. This person's in the middle. He will pretty much insist on getting a phone call if anything is different. So yesterday, I told him it's not revving up. Do you want me to look at it? He asked me why. Looks like that one's completely stripped out. So that should be real fun. Look at that. So, asked me why. I told him I don't know. So now we are here doing this. And those are completely seized in there. Let's just take the whole muffler off and see if it's just a plugged port. Most likely it's not, but so T25. Now I understand you're not supposed to use this type of bit on it. I understand. It's just what I have on the table right now, and it works, so that's what we're gonna go with. So we need to spin the engine over a little bit. I need to take a look in there, and I see nothing. I mean, yeah, there's carbon, but the port is completely clean, more or less. It's not a buildup whatsoever. Now, something the owner did tell me is when the cap broke, this aluminum piece also, he said, broke. I don't exactly know what that means. We're just going to go under assumption it's a bad carb. The fuel that came out of here probably started off as a blue, and it was a very dark green. This is a backup machine, so who knows how long it's not been used. And even then, if there was like a problem with the plate, I don't suspect it'd be causing a run problem. Now, if there was a problem with the back plate, then yeah, that'd be a problem. I don't really see how it's broken. Oh, I think I see it now. In here, there's a few cracks. I don't know if you're really able to tell, but I think the whole thing kind of got pushed back. I don't know. But either way, we are going to take the fuel cap, or at least loosen it. I don't need to take it off. Grab some pliers that should work for this. And take off the fuel lines. The fuel lines actually feel pretty good. And when I took the fuel out, the fuel filter was still on it, so I don't suspect we're going to have fuel line problems. Probably the better thing to do is to replace them, but the grommet is still spongy. The fuel lines are very pliable. They're mainly just dirty. Yes, of course. Come on. Sorry for the sniffles. I am getting over yet another cold. I've never been this sick my entire life. That's what happens when you're forced to wear a mask for so long. When you don't have to, you get sick from pretty much everything. Okay, let's go ahead and give this a good cleaning. Unfortunately, the likelihood of me having a full carb kit for this is pretty much nothing. So, we're either going to have to get crafty, or this is going to have to be, I'll finish it when a carb kit gets here type of video. I'd prefer it not to be, but I also thought I was just buying a cover for a Shindawa Edger. If you're wondering what this is a LE242. It's a pretty decent little machine. It's not perfect, but I'll get the job done. You can tell the fuel has a little hint of red in there. That's my fuel. So we know that the good fuel made it to the carb. We're going to grab ourselves a little screwdriver. If you pull on it, you're probably going to rip it. And like I said, I don't have another one, so But if you kind of pry it up slowly, I'm just doing like a little twist. So you could say it's walking it off, I suppose. It's not really prying, just kind of gently moving it. The areas that have the screws in it, though, are definitely a little bit more stuck on there, so then a little bit more force is needed. Actually looks pretty good. Okay, so the idle is with this adjustment screw. I say that now because if I don't, then when I put this top piece back on, I will have to go through the mental anguish of figuring out how exactly it goes back on. Because there's only 2 screws. There we go. We don't clean that in the ultrasonic cleaner. So we have, so this is the part I was going to leave for now. You can tune this. It does have an adjustment needle. I spent probably another good 5 minutes trying to tune out the problem. It just wasn't working, which is why this video exists. So we're not even going to bother. We might as well, I guess. About 3/4 of a turn. Some of these carbs are fixed jet. I know someone is saying, why don't you just do 1 turn? That probably would help. Now, I had this thing out all the way to 2, 1/4, 1 1/2, 3/4. No, this is just needing to be cleaned. At least we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so if you do not have an ultrasonic cleaner, then what you're going to want to do, I prefer using this. It's just brake clean. I like the non-chlorinated version. If you weld, you probably have a can of this just because it's easier than acetone. Which brings me to a point of never weld over a chlorinated brake cleaner. Not a good idea. That's a quick way of sending yourself to a hospital. Assuming you don't go to the morgue. Anyway, so get this sprayed out. You're going to want to remove this little O-ring. You do not want to touch any of the rubber parts. Let's take this off. I have a diaphragm, but I do not have this gasket. So if we destroy the gasket, that would be very unfortunate. Or at least I don't have a new one. I might have a used one somewhere, but yeah, see, this is just a standard little diaphragm. Okay. So, if you, like I said, if you are going to be using brake clean, go through all the little ports. Be careful of this little piece right here. You don't really want to get any brake clean in there. There's usually pieces that can be damaged in there. But, other than that, just get it nice and clean. Wear gloves. As you can tell, I love doing that. And I'm going to put this in my cleaner, and then we'll be right back. And it's out of the cleaner. So I want to address something that I didn't really address earlier, and that is the fact that, yes, the muffler could still be plugged, but considering the fuel that came out of this, I don't think it was the muffler. It still can be. We might have to go down that rusty screw road, but pretty confident that's not the reason. Okay, so we have half, and we'll do 1. Pretty standard. And now, let us take this piece. Now, this is one I don't have, but There's the gasket, and then there's the diaphragm part. The diaphragm part goes against the smooth piece. This has ridges. That goes on the gasket part. There we go. Excuse me. So now we put this on, and if you can't tell, there's a little hole in right here and here, and it just kind of lines up with the carb. If you don't have one of these, this is a small cup. They make small, large, medium, and a red one. If you don't have the right one, then it's not going to work. So, if you are having this problem, ideally you'd order a carb kit. And I'll explain how to do so if you don't know how after we're done rebuilding it. Or cleaning it. It's not a rebuild. You can also take out that little check valve, the little rubber piece in there. It had no issue priming, and I'm not going to worry about it. You know what we just did? We completely forgot a whole section of gaskets and diaphragm. That's what happens when I start talking. Okay, so now that we have that at least taken care of, we now will put the gasket first, then the diaphragm on top. We're going to put it so these pieces are facing that way. There we go. Now we should be set now. If you don't remember the stacking, then if you're buying a kit, look at the one you took off. But if you put it on wrong, let's say it was supposed to be on top, like the one we just put on there, and you put it on the bottom of the gasket, it's going to either leak from the actual gasket material in here, or most definitely it will be leaking through the throat of the carb. Now, if it's supposed to be on the bottom, which I personally don't remember of anyone that should be like that, at least nothing like this, then it's just going to starve for fuel, but it won't leak, so that's a bonus. Okay, now that's done. We should be ready for the top. The first nice weekend in a long time. Go outside and see a bunch of people get sick. Tell you. Just can't win sometimes. And then Northwestern weather loves to make sure to remind you of the last time you saw people. And then for the next couple weeks, make sure you don't see sun at all. So you're stuck inside or outside sick. If you're outside sick in the rain, that's even worse. Okay, now we have it rebuilt. So how can you tell which one it is? Well, look at the markings. Somewhere on here, it should have a marking on it. This one does not. It does have a marking right there, but that won't really help you. The best thing that you can do now is look at the model number of your machine. Go to Google, type in your model number, the machine name, and carb. You can either buy one pre-built, or you could type in carb kit. Even better, go to eReplacement or jacksmallengines.com or whatever, type in your model number, and then look for a parts diagram. Or Google, you could just type in your model number and go parts diagram, and it'll probably take you to one of those websites anyway. Then go scroll through. Usually Carburetor is by itself, and it will give you a part number for the carb kit. At that point, you either buy it from them, which is probably the better idea since you did use their service, or copy the part number, go to Amazon, eBay, Google, find a different place that might be cheaper, faster, whatever, and buy the carb kit. Or the whole carb if you want. Like I said, if you're on Amazon, just type in the model number and carb. Make sure it looks like this. You do want the adjustable one, so beware. But, you know, that's up to you. I'm going to put it back on the machine, and then we will see if it runs. So tuning this thing isn't going to be the easiest to do on camera, so I always want to make sure it starts, and then maybe I'll do it off camera and then bring it back. I don't know yet, but I did prime it. That's choke. Okay, it's on. Oh, now it helps if it's on. Let's take off the choke. Maybe I'll hold down the throttle. If it starts running all crazy, then I'll have to stop it, but... Whew. Okay, I'm going to tune it a little bit. Turn it maybe another half a turn. Idle's too low. I'm gonna work on it a little bit. Okay, let's give it a try. On. So it's still a touch on the rich side, but a couple things about that. The majority of it being, I'm not using it. There's no load on the end of the blade. So if there's no load, you don't really want to tune it where it's running perfect just in midair. That's just a waste of fuel. So I left a little rich. Under load, it's going to need a little bit more fuel. And later, when it's not raining, hopefully soon, I'll go out, I'll make my final adjustments. But with there only being one adjustment screw, in leans it out. I don't know if you saw, but there's a bunch of blue smoke. That was dead giveaway, it's running rich. And I need to be leaned out. So I leaned it out a little bit at a time until I was able to actually get it running fairly decently. And like I said, a hair on the rich end. I'd rather have a hair on the rich than a hair on the lean. Hair on the lean is going to make it really hard to start, and just going to wear it out faster. Not a good idea. Hair on the rich also comes with its issues, but they're generally not that bad. As long as you use this machine like it's intended, you're not going to worry about it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you at that. If you like what you see, keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at SmallEngine101. If you like what you see, don't forget to leave a comment and let me know if this helped you out and what machine. Is it the same one or something similar to it? Okay, have a good night.